In this video, we are going to talk about how to identify natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational and irrational numbers, and real and imaginary numbers. So, let's start with natural numbers. What are natural numbers? Basically, natural numbers are counting numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Next are whole numbers. Whole numbers are just counting numbers, but it includes 0. So, whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Next, we have integers. Integers can be both positive or negative. It includes any whole number you can think of, either positive or negative, including 0. Examples of integers are -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Next to the list are rational numbers. Rational numbers are any number that can be put into a fraction using integers. On a fraction, we have the numerator and the denominator. We can put any integer at the top of the fraction bar, even 0 as the numerator. But we can't place 0 at the bottom as the denominator of the fraction, for it will become undefined. Examples of a fraction are 1/2, 0/6, 9/3, -3/6, -5/5. Now, take a look at these fractions: 5/1, 6/1, 10/1. They all have common denominator, which is 1. And we know that any number divided by 1 is the number itself. Therefore, 5/1 is equal to 5, 6/1 is equal to 6, and 10/1 is equal to 10. What I'm trying to say is every integer is a rational number, because every integer has 1 as their denominator, and any integer divided by 1 or any integer over 1 is the integer itself. So you get the point. Decimals are also rational numbers, but there are two types of decimals. Decimals that can be converted into a fraction, and decimals that cannot. Decimals that can be converted into a fraction are rational numbers. These are the decimals that are terminating, and the decimals that are repeating but not terminating. Example of decimal that are terminating are 0.5. 0.5 is equal to 1/2. 0.25 is equal to 1/4. 0.20 equals 1/5. Some examples of decimals that are repeating but not terminating are 0.33333333 without an end. 0.333333 without an end is equal to 1/3. Another example is 0.142857, 142857, 142857. We can consider this as repeating decimals for its pattern, and it is equal to 1/7. Next are irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be expressed as a fraction, such as decimals that neither repeating nor terminating. For example, the value of pi. pi is equal to 3.14159265358 and so on. We can convert the value of pi into a fraction. So, pi is an irrational number. Another example is square root of 2, which is equal to 1.4142135562 and so forth. And the value of e, which is 2.718281 and 18 and so on. The values that are mentioned are values that cannot be converted into a fraction. So, these are irrational numbers. Next are real and imaginary numbers. All of the numbers that have been mentioned earlier are all real numbers. This includes all the natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational and irrational numbers. They are all classified as real numbers. Lastly, we have imaginary numbers. Imaginary numbers are complex numbers that can be written as a real number multiplied by the imaginary unit I. Example, square root of a negative number. Square root of negative 4. Square root of negative 4 is an imaginary number, for there are no numbers that when multiplied together will produce negative 4. So, square root of negative 4 is an imaginary number, and it is equal to 2i. Every time you see a number with I, it's imaginary number. 5i is imaginary number. 3i plus 4 is imaginary number. Keep in mind that I is equal to square root of negative 1.